guys, welcome to Appalachia's Homestead. Pater with you. We've got a canning mess going on in the kitchen today. We are canning tomatoes again, peach jam. We are canning dilly beans, cucumbers, and more. We're really trying to push all of our water bath items because we're going to really be pushed with more pressure canning soon with more green beans. And with straight up canning them, and of course corn. So we're doing all of our water bath items. In fact, we're setting up our canner outside as well. Going to talk about peach jam. A lot of questions have come in on my Facebook page about how I can peach jam. First and foremost, if you are new to canning, by all means, listen to what I tell you. Before you ask anybody any questions, you need to head over to your local Walmart or Lowe's or wherever, as I've told you before, and you need to pick this book up. It's about $7.97. It is your blue book. It's by Ball. This is the newest version of this book right here. You can get this for less than $8. I have several versions of this. This is the newest one. You will love it. It will answer all of your questions. If you are new to canning, go here, okay? Now, let me tell you, as you start canning and you get really good at it, I'm going to put this book down over here. You're going to change up a few things. I canned peaches. Now let's talk about how I canned this. And I know you're like, you're not showing me the whole process. Folks, it's so crazy simple that, you know, sometimes when I film things or I show things, a lot of folks say, I wish you would show more of this or that. I just go through the mental process of a lot of folks already know certain things. So let me just talk you through this straight up. Go get some peaches. Now, in your ball canning book, it will literally tell you exactly what you need to make your jams and jellies. Now, I'm going to be talking fast because this is hot and I'm on a time crunch. I got my peaches from the Mennonites, okay? So, what I did simply, in order to get the skin off, is you blanch your peaches. You put them in hot boiling water on your stovetop for about bubbling, not, you know, you don't want it crazy boiling, but you want it super hot. You do want it to be, it will burn you and scald you if you're not careful. So know that's going to be that type of temperature you're dealing with. You put the peaches down in the water. You let them sit in the water for anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute or whatnot, and then you're going to put them over in your sink, which I've just got a huge mess here. This was where I had them in ice cold water. Let them sit for a few minutes, you know, just for 30 seconds, 45 seconds, let them start to cool down. That skin is just going to start coming off. That's what you do with your tomatoes also. If you are not going to be using your crock pot method, okay? You're going to get the skin off. And I simply just take that peach and I just tear it wide open. I take the center just right out and I just plop those peaches right down in there, that soft flesh, okay? Then I have cooked it. I have gone mainly with the ball canning recipe. I believe it's on page 52 in that book. But you're going to add what you want in order to get your jam going. I used a potato masher. I had a lot of peaches in here, okay, guys? So I had to really bend the recipe. I did put pectin in there. You're going to use liquid pectin, but that's not until after you've added your sugar. Now, I will tell you, do you see down in here? There is no foam. You start to, when you're making jam, especially if you made strawberry jam, if you're making peach jam, it makes foam. You can skim, you can keep the foam, you can skim the foam. I put in butter. A really strong pat of butter in here, and it just sort of makes the foam go right away. But you can skim that off and put it in milk for your kids. Oh my gosh, you talk about good old stuff. All right, so what I've done is I've heated my jars. If you've never canned before, you're going to use canning jars. I don't can any jams or jellies anymore in anything smaller than a pint jar. Those little half pints are cute as bugs and rugs, but they're a waste of my time. I want more in the jar for my money. Now, I have been switching over to wide mouth. These are older jars of mine, so I am using them because of size. But if I buy any new jars by Ball or whatnot, it's wide mouth. I don't go anything. I don't waste my time. That's my personal preference. So I've made this. I simply had it on the stovetop after I've blanched them and peeled them. Simple, crazy, silly, stupid. I mean, you can do it. I put that in there, and I sugar to taste. Now, it's going to tell you what to use, but you're going to be just like me, and you're going to cheat just like me, because sometimes you need a little bit less, sometimes you need a little bit more. So I put the sugar in, I used my simple potato masher, then I added in, once I got to a certain point with with it really heating up, I'd put in my butter, and you put in your pectin. Follow the directions according to, come over here, the upside down Ball canning book. It will save you, I promise. Now you need all these little handy dandy tools when you're canning. We've talked about this in my tomato. If you want to really go through a really good canning video with me, I have a 3-part series on how to can your tomatoes. Show you how to blanch them, show you how to wash your jars, I show you your funnels, I show you all of these things that you're going to need. This is going to be used to come over here to get your lids, to put them on your jars. This is going to be used to so you don't burn yourself when you're placing it in your water bath peaches. Are for water bath, not your pressure canner. Of course, see that right here? I've already got them down in here. I'm about to wash them. So you want your jars to be washed. Some folks, there's different methods for that. I'm going to tell you right now, my favorite method is the dishwasher. Works like a charm. Washes them, sterilizes them, cleans them, and gets them right to the temperature that I need. Okay? So what I'm doing right here is I have already put in my jam into my jars. And right now what I am doing, now make sure you know you have your headspace. Always look at your recipes for your headspace. You want your headspace so it doesn't seep out when you're canning it. And I am getting out the air bubbles. I just come in, I push on one side, bring it to the other. Simple. Do that 2 or 3 times or whatnot. Okay. I'm looking at my jar, not my camera. So then I'm going to put my lids on. I do heat my lids. Some people tell you now you don't have to. I put them in really, really warm water to get them going. And then I'm going to put the, you're going to rinse these off, which I've already done, which I need to do again. You're going to get a towel, a paper towel, something clean and sterile, and you're going to wet it, and you're going to simply wipe the rims. Boom. Okay? You're going to put your lids, and then you're going to put your appropriate rings on. I have sterilized these also, and we're going to put it in the water bath. So I'm going to move the next phase, and I've got my water bath heating like crazy over here. So let's stop this just for a second, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, I've got these in here, all 7. I've got another container about to go outside, so we're moving like crazy. Got this boiling, turned it down just a hair. I've set this for 20 minutes. You're instructed to do your half pints for 10. Then I'm going to have to add time because I've done pints and also because my altitude is a little bit higher being up here in the mountains. So I have set the timer for 20 minutes. Sometimes I let it go a little bit longer. Never had a problem. So we're going to put the lid back on and we're going to get these rocking and rolling and get the other batch outside in the canner outside. Just raised them up, haven't even kind of moved the water off of them, and at least 4 have already popped. So what I like to do is pull them up. My camera was just not fast enough, but and I like to get the water off the top. Whoop, 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 whoop. They're popping. I think we've got 5 out of the 7 so far at least. So I just take the clamp and I hold the jar and I move the water off the top. I don't push down, don't do anything like that. Try to avoid that. But they are popping and sealing, and you can see, I don't know if you can see it right there. Man, that jam is jamming in the jars. That is some hot stuff. Really cooked down, really boiled, really going. So we're doing good here. So far, so good. All right, guys, if you are getting into canning and you're going to be doing a lot at one time, I highly encourage you to also set up an outdoor little kitchen area. Very easy to do. We're expanding on that. So while we have the inside going with the peach jam, we also have an outdoor canner going with a simple turkey fryer and propane. Very simple. We've been doing this for several years. We do have our much larger canner. It's a 21 quart holder, but we're not working with that much in terms of the peach jam. That'd be a lot of peach jam. That'd be a lot of sugar. But here we go. We're going to do the same thing here. Make sure you keep up with your time. Make sure you always use appropriate canning methods and, of course, canning materials so that you have everything in there the way that you need it. So let's see how these go. We're ready for those lids to pop, pop, pop. Just quick note, when you're using your water bath, make sure that your jars are heavily submerged, meaning that you've got the water over the lids, okay? It's not going to do you any good if it's not. The ball canning book will say anywhere from 1 inch. I've read other places, universities will tell you 2 inches. So just to give you a little heads up on that, and here we go. All right, guys, showing you that every one of the peaches sealed. The peach jam is good to go. So definitely check out your ball canning book and, you know, adapt your recipes. Always follow good times with that. But now you can still see we're revving up over here. It's time to can dilly beans. Just to add a little blurb onto this video, I'm now making my dilly beans. We have grown Kentucky Wonders and we have grown Missouri Wonders, so I'm trying Kentucky Wonders from Baker Creek Heirloom for my dilly beans this year. Usually I do my Roma 2s, but we have changed things up this year. So I'm starting with a small batch of dilly beans, and I can go ahead and tell you right now I'm going to be tripling this. This is too good to be true. So if you're interested in starting out slow with canning, dilly beans are a great way to do so, okay? A lot of folks know and understand that you have to pressure can green beans in a standard way. But if you make it acidic, if you pickle them, which is what dilly beans are doing, oh my, you can just water bath it. So I'm going by the standard recipe that is in the ball canning book, but I'm adding it up just a little bit. I'm changing it up just a hair. You'll get bold with that. Now, instead of using a whole clove of garlic, I've just done minced garlic. I've done cayenne pepper. Instead of using a head of dill like I've done before, I've just added in the dill seed. You'll do 2 teaspoons. These are just like, here's my pint jars I love. I love wide mouth pint jars. Here's why. So my beans got so big, and they were long, we've snapped them in half, but I lay the jars on the side, I stuff them. So right over here to my right, I've got all of my vinegar and salt and everything steaming up, ready to pour over this, okay? These are warm jars, I've stuffed them real quick. I've changed up the recipe. If you find it in the ball canning book, I've added my basil to it. You can make these different ways. You can add fennel, you can add different spices. I've made a Greek style before, which was out of this world. But this time I'm going to go standard to start. So garlic, cayenne pepper. I'm adding 1 sprig of my own fresh picked basil that I just brought in. So we're going to get these in the canner next. Hey, if you can can, just get on and can it. All right, so we're going to put that on there and get these going, because this is why canning videos, if you're really serious about putting away what you're doing, not just for demo, moves very fast, quick talking, and no nonsense, because it's a time process. So just showing you some of the things that we're using, and let's get these going, and it smells fabulous. I'm going to be able to squeeze 1 more jar quickly in this whole mess, so I'm going to show you how I'm doing this. I lay my jars on the side to get them started. You see this? So that they can lay more flat, okay? And I just start sticking them in there, and then I'll shake them around, shake them like a salt shaker, and get them exactly how I want them situated, guys. Always make sure you've washed your hands and keeping everything sterile as much as possible. So, gonna move to the next phase and get these in here. Look at these, how they're turning out. If you love pickled goods, which I could live off pickled goods, okra, dilly beans, pinto beans with a side of this, cornbread. You know what we're going to be having soon, don't you? I know it. All right, let's get these going. Squirrel. All right, guys, I went ahead and cleaned up the jars, put the lids on, and I've got them in the water bath. Dilly beans don't take very long at all. Standard is around 10 minutes to process this. I run it for at least 15 because of my altitude. Always check your altitude. And it's getting late, so I need some energy. Preacher cookies. We're going for it. All right, let's pray these seal. Let's go for it. All right, guys, so these have processed, and I turned everything off. It's still really hot. I know I'm in your way. Move these up. I like to take the water off the top, but leave them in the water bath so things can just cool down a little bit on their own and adjust. You can clearly see get really hot. Water bath gets really hot. So, all right, we're going to see if these seal. These are wide mouth jars, which is what I prefer for any of my jars. Sometimes they take a little bit longer to seal, just like if you were to work with quart jars. They can take a little bit longer to pop and seal rather than the small or regular mouth, I should say. So we're going to let these sit and let them cool, and we'll see what they do. We're going to put them over. We just appreciate y'all watching. Let me just sort of pick it up so you can see what I'm talking about in here. Just gorgeous. Thanks for watching, guys, on our canning extravaganza today. It's not done. We still have so much to do, but we may have to take a break here, guys, and finish up in the morning. It's just a lot going on. So if you like this video of all this stuff, and like hanging out with us. We sure do love having you here. Be sure to like and subscribe, comment, share, and check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. I have a new group on Facebook, private homesteading group for everybody that's learning to homestead and has a homestead. It's just groovy. So check us out there. We will talk to you soon. Y'all take care and just press forth with all that wonderful food storage. Y'all take care.